Greetings. I am Morgiana Flanelise from the Magi series, and you are watching the Nox series. Enjoy.
Hello everyone. Yes, I am not Magbo or NexiLife here. This is DSX Archive, and the reason for that is because I really wanted to talk about Toonami and the state of Toonami today. And it just doesn't seem proper to post it on Magbo because Magbo is all about video game collecting, video games in general. That's the focus of the whole channel. As for NexiLife, it's more like about life, relationships, economic issues that I talk about. So I didn't think that Toonami was gonna fit well in that channel as well. So I'm posting it here, which is pretty much a free-for-all channel and a channel where I archive older videos on. So if you wanna check what type of videos I made back in the old days, look through my channel, check it out, and you get the idea. But if you wanna follow my more active channels, Magbo Gaming for the video games, link below if you want to see my collection as a whole. Yeah, I'm more active on those two channels. But here, if you want to see my archive of older videos, then this is the place to go. It has gaming stuff too from the past. Before 2022, I guess you could say. Anyways, Toonami. Sorry if I went a little bit off topic for a moment, but Toonami. I grew up with Toonami. I'm a millennial. I was born in 1987. I got introduced to Toonami back when I was like 10 years old or so. So I got introduced to it when Dragon Ball Z was a thing in Cartoon Network, Toonami and stuff like that. It was great at the time. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, Toonami's been through a lot. It's been 28 years now. Yes, 28 years since Toonami first launched. It launched in around March of 1997. And right now it's March, as I record this video, March of 2025. So 28 years now. How time flies. Throughout the years, Toonami's been airing like multiple different animes out there. And not just anime, also like American action cartoons like the DC comic cartoons. Some of the Cartoon Network originals as well, like Mega's XLR. And a few others. Yeah, I know that Batman, Superman, Justice League, all that stuff were DC comics that shows also aired on Toonami. And of course, the best of all, anime like Dragon Ball Z, Tenchi Muyo, Outlaw Star, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, Rave Master. Yep, Rave Master that came before Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail never aired on Toonami, which is very strange, but I digress, I guess. Crunchyroll got the capital for that, I guess. And then many other animes out there, like it lasted from 1997 until 2008 for the first run in Cartoon Network. Toonami left the network, the broadcast. It ended its broadcast in September of 2008. And then 4 years later, a little under 4 years later, it came back to television on Adult Swim. Which basically I remember it aired Danban Wonderland, Casher's Sins, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, The Ghost in the Shell, Bleach, and a few others. I think Cowboy Bebop as well. And then from here on in, they kept airing new animes like the Uncut Naruto, Naruto Shippuden, all that good stuff. One Piece, yep, bringing back One Piece because One Piece been going in and out of Toonami multiple times throughout its time on the whole broadcast network. One Piece is still on today, by the way, but yeah, you get the idea. A lot of animes. Some of the ones I really loved on Toonami, because what I love about Toonami is that, sure, it wasn't the only network out there that showed anime at the time in the 90s, but it was pretty much what got me into anime in the first place. What got me into Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece, Naruto, Tenchi Muyo, all that good stuff. Like, it's nostalgic for me. Like, I'm that old. I'm 37 right now. I could definitely appreciate Toonami back in the old days. I remember, the Majin Buu saga, the Cell saga, the Frieza saga, and Dragon Ball Z, that every year we get like new episodes, and I'd be looking forward to new episodes every single day of the week. Now it's like once a week. Toonami has changed a lot since then. There was even a time, like after its revival, where Toonami was at its peak. Like, it wasn't back in the day that was at its peak. No, it was at its peak in 2018, 2017, because it actually aired from 9 o'clock p.m. I'm not joking. There was a time that Toonami was airing from 9 o'clock p.m. all the way to like 5 or 6 a.m. Yes, that in my opinion was the peak. And they were showing lots and lots of new anime, minus One Piece. For some reason, they didn't show One Piece at the time, which is weird, because One Piece is amazing, but I guess it didn't do well in the States for it to stay too long. And I'm glad that One Piece is actually getting up there in ratings and stuff, in popularity. It's a lot more popular now, that's for sure. But yeah, dude, I love all the bumpers on Toonami. You feel like you're actually a part of this whole thing. Like, if you're watching a specific anime, you see bumpers from Toonami that they edited themselves. It looks like, oh, you're watching anime from space and all that stuff. It was really cool. I have it a lot in my mind whenever I'm bored. I just roll in like what shows could have been in Toonami in my head. What schedule could have been Toonami if Toonami was still doing good. So yeah. Remember when I told you that the peak was 2018? From 2019 and beyond, it started going downhill a little bit. The reason why also it was the peak is because I remember they were showing shows like Sword Art Online, One Punch Man, Mob Psycho, Dr. Stone, Fire Force, Food Wars. Yeah, a lot of shows that recently was aired in Japan and shortly after came in Toonami. My Hero Academia was a big one as well. Demon Slayer. They were airing all sorts of cartoons of anime that just came out recently. Even Dragon Ball Super. They were able to air all of Dragon Ball Super, which was great. Sadly, I wasn't able to fully enjoy watching Toonami because I didn't have cable. Toonami didn't really adapt to the times. They could have made a streaming service that could work conjunction with their television network, but for some reason they probably didn't have the budget to do it. Toonami could have actually competed with Crunchyroll, with Netflix and all that stuff, and they could have their own bumpers customized within the streaming service. So if you, let's just say you want to watch an anime in Toonami, in a Toonami app or something, you watch an anime, you choose if you want to do it with bumpers or without bumpers. Because, you know, you want to have the nostalgic feeling of bumpers as well. But you don't want to watch the commercials, of course. So, you know, you would have a chance to actually do that part. You would actually have that option if there was an app. That was an idea that I had that I kept in my mind for a while. But yeah, and now it's like Toonami is a show what it once was. Because nowadays, there's only like, I think 3.5 hours of Toonami. I think the last good thing that they were able to air was Demon Slayer. And of course, they still airing One Piece, was technically the first time they air on television and stuff like that. I guess you could say it's good, but look what time that they air it. Yeah, look at the schedule right here. Freaking 1:30 a.m., 2 o'clock a.m. I fall asleep by then, unfortunately. I want to watch One Piece, but it's way too freaking late. So I'm better off just going on Crunchyroll so I could just watch One Piece anytime I want, any hour of the day. That's what's going on with Toonami. Also, another problem with Toonami today is that they're over-reliant on their originals. What do I mean by that? By now, we should have had Dr. Stone Season 4 and My Hero Academia Season 7, or I think they're in Season 7, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, the last season that came out for My Hero Academia, and then it got dubbed in Crunchyroll. They could have already had those two shows on Toonami. But nope, they don't have it. Why? Because I'm going to imagine that they are suffering financially. They're on their last legs. When you notice that in Toonami's final days on Cartoon Network, that they only had like a full hour of Naruto, Samurai Jack, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Ben 10. Yeah, Ben 10. Yeah, I think it was an hour of Naruto, Ben 10, and Samurai Jack. And then they canceled that thing out of nowhere. Could the same thing happen to the Toonami right now? I'll give them this. Their schedule is still better than that schedule back then. That schedule was the worst. I'm sorry. Naruto fillers, Ben 10, and Samurai Jack. Sure, Samurai Jack's a good show, but it's not a new show. There's barely any animes. Like, you know, they took out One Piece and Bubble Ball and all that stuff. Well, they finished Bubble Ball, but you get the idea. But yeah, granted, the schedule right now is not the best, but it is a little bit better than the schedule from 2008. but it's a far cry compared to 2018, which was the peak, which was like literally 7 to 8 or 9 hours of non-stop anime, a variety of anime. I'm gonna show you this schedule right here, so you could tell me how peak it was back then. Like, there were lots of different shows, and the majority of them were premieres. They were new. They were long-running series. Like, oh yes, I forgot to mention Hunter x Hunter was a big show on Toonami as well. Hunter x Hunter, amazing show, honestly, one of the best. So, what is the schedule right now before I end this? Well, right now this is the schedule on this Toonami. It's just, they start off with Fully Cooley Shoegaze, which is only 3 episodes. It's like Fully Cooley Grunge. They're rerunning those things just to hold off until Lazarus come in on April. And Lazarus, I'm pretty sure, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty short as well. I don't know how short, but the latest Toonami originals were super short. Like Uzumaki, 4 episodes. Yeah, that was short, and it took them how much, like 5 years in order to like develop this anime. Everything in black and white. They said the first episode was amazing and the rest were crap. That really shoot them on the foot right there. And then we have, I think it was this ghost show. Yeah, this is the show I'm talking about, with the 2 girls that are like looking for like supernatural stuff that's happening in the apartment. Decent show. I watched it with my friend. So basically, as I was saying, very short anime series, Toonami originals. So they don't last long. The ratings for a lot of them are not that good. So you get the idea. Like Lazarus, if Lazarus doesn't do well for Toonami, I don't know what they're gonna do, to be honest. It's literally like, it's gonna be the end of Toonami at that point. I will predict that if this goes the way it is right now, with Crunchyroll and Sony like pretty much monopolizing the entire anime industry in the West, and they don't want Toonami to like touch any of them, apparently. You know, because obviously we could watch Dr. Stone and My Hero Academia, the newest season in English dub, in Crunchyroll right now. So I don't know what else they have. Let's just see. Common Side Effects. What the heck is that show? That show doesn't even belong in Toonami. That's an Adult Swim original show that they air new episodes on Sunday. But why the heck are they showing on Toonami? Because they have nothing else to put, I'm gonna imagine. Blue Exorcist. Okay, so there was a new season of Blue Exorcist recently that came out in Japan. Last year, I think it was. So, will they be airing that season? I have no idea. That's something that you're gonna have to let me know and clarify in the comment section below. And we got a full hour of One Piece, which was, of course, I'm not gonna complain about that. A full hour of One Piece in the Dressrosa arc is pretty nice. Of course, you know, we've been watching that arc a long time ago, but it's the first time they air on television. But all these episodes you could literally watch on Funimation. I mean, not Funimation. On Crunchyroll. You could watch all that in Crunchyroll anytime you want. Then we got Naruto and Sailor Moon, which they used to be on Toonami Rewind on Fridays last year, but they canceled that. So they moved those shows over to the Saturday block. And for some reason, they took out Dragon Ball Kai. So, what do I think about this schedule? This schedule kind of marked like the beginning of the end of Toonami. Unless, for some miracle, they're able to get Dandadan on Toonami. Dandadan will help, but that's already on Crunchyroll, right? If they somehow able to get My Hero Academia or Dr. Stone, maybe that will keep them afloat, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Because they're way too late in the party. Most people have already watched these animes already at this point. I watched every single one of these stuff already. I'm currently watching Dr. Stone though. But I don't know, man. Toonami definitely, if it dies right now, I'm not gonna be surprised. Because, to be honest, it's just not the same anymore. So, what do you guys think of the state of Toonami right now? You think that Toonami is gonna bounce back from this? You think that Toonami can finally come up with a streaming app that they could put on their website and on the phones so they could catch up with the times? Because cable don't work anymore for Toonami. Toonami is just there because they're there for, like, you know, to fill up the blocks of older animes, nostalgic anime for people, millennials, that still wants to watch cable television because we grew up on that. But anyone younger than millennials, they're not really caring about cable television anymore. Like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they don't care about television for the most part. They're on their YouTube or TikToks and all that stuff. So, you know, you have to rely on us, the millennials, or the older generation like Gen X, even the boomers, in order for cable television to still live. So, that's where it's going, is becoming outdated. I struggle to watch Toonami. I do have an app, but I don't think it's a good idea to promote that. But just look at it yourself, the TV app thingy on tvapp.to. I can't promote it, just in case. But if you look it up for yourself, I'm pretty sure you'll have a way around watching this, because that's what I do. Because I don't have cable anymore, nor do idea. Why would I want to waste money on cable just to watch Toonami on a night, where I can watch all these animes everywhere else, on streaming sites, on Watch Cartoon Online, all that other stuff. Crazy, right? Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. If you want to follow my main channels, Magbo Gaming, link in the description below. That's where I will be posting my video game content. I have some new updates there that you may want to have a look soon. I will be posting it soon, if not already. And also I have basically some new plans on my NexiLife channel as well, in the description below. So I will be promoting on Magbo too, because, well, certain people already knows about it, so there's no use in hiding anymore. I'm just gonna embrace it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts about what Toonami is for you nowadays compared to what Toonami was back in the day. It did define the anime industry. Without Toonami, if we wouldn't like Dragon Ball Z the way that we do now, I think Toonami a lot. But I think it's about time to adapt to the future, adapt to technology. If Toonami is going to be around, if it's going to work, it needs to have a streaming website. It needs to have a streaming app where we could access Toonami shows anytime we want. And we could still watch their bumpers as well if we want. But they could choose whether they watch bumpers or not, basically. Because, Crunchyroll, you don't have to watch any bumpers. That's up to you if you want to feel the nostalgia. That's for us millennials that loves Toonami. For us. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I'll see you all in the next one. Dinox out. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel and click the bell to keep up to date for new videos like this from me. And also check out the videos you see on the screen here if it interests you. Hope to see you again.